10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining.
Hi everybody and welcome to Dota Pit. You thought it was
5
over.
seconds
We
remaining.
did.
Oh, we did all of Southeast Asia,
and we did all of America.
almost all of America. One
That's
more game
that's
left.
true. There's
Radiant
that one big
team.
exciting
One
game to see if Dota Cinema will be able to qualify.
But it's a really
for
good
anything.
game too.
Dire
I mean,
team.
DC versus Elite Wolves. That's like
You know all
North
about
versus South America.
you know all about facing Elite Wolves, don't you, Cap?
No, I don't, Toby. I know about facing X Unknown, Elite Wolves. Unfortunately, I did not have the honor of facing them in open qualifiers because I got dumpstered by the other Peruvian team.
What a shame, Cap. What a shame. You could have been a contender.
Radiant
You could have been amazing.
Next season, guys.
Yeah.
Next season.
Yeah, well, yeah, next season. Well, let's see what happens there. Let's see what happens here. Start of Europe. I believe we actually have, let me just double check. Yeah, it is. There is our grid. So we have two groups. We have Group A as well as Group B. This game is coming out of Group A, and it contains Team Liquid,
10
Alliance,
seconds
Power
remaining.
Rangers, Stark and HellRaisers, you see, as well as Team Empire. So as far as this group goes, it seems bloody tough,
Radiant
Cap.
team.
Oh yeah. This is definitely a tough group. I would say that these two teams are in my bottom two, actually. If I had to like just look at the teams, just based off of
10
my
seconds
predictions right now,
remaining.
I would say these two teams are 5th and 6th. But the thing is, I don't want to
5
take away
seconds
from these two
remaining.
teams, and I don't want to take away from the viewers' expectations of what we could see out of these two teams. Because the
Reserve
thing is,
time.
we're in a new patch. All that needs to happen is one team to hit their stride as both one, a team and playing together and stuff, but also playing within the patch, and they can actually do very well. So both of these teams have potential. Stark GG, obviously known for a lot of their team play. I think they've got some pretty good synergy for a tier 2, tier 3 team, and they're led by Boogie as the drafter, but Trixie is obviously the veteran player that you look to that has a ton of experience behind him.
Yeah, and he's played with a lot of these guys for a very long time too, so that's obviously where a huge part of the synergy
10
comes from.
seconds
And you're right
remaining.
with a whole bunch of like there's a lot of tier 2 teams out there which you wouldn't think would stand a chance.
5
Like how many
seconds
people coming
remaining.
into the qualifiers, the major, thought the team spirit would come out on top?
Oh yeah,
Reserve time.
Like that's one of those teams where Godblack read the meta perfectly. Like a lot of people also said, like Valve, they just tried to find another reason so they could directly invite Alliance, just by changing the patch to being what it is now. There's a solid reason. Like how much you really want to say WCA? That swayed the decision.
guys, how do we bring Alliance back?
Really?
Well, I don't know. Let's make Lone Druid a totally OP hero. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
I saw Nigma's build on Lone Druid. That looks legit, Cap. It looks
No.
no bear build on Lone Druid.
No.
It's almost as good as the no breathe fire build on DK.
10
Oh, yeah.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, what a time. What a time 2014 was where we saw a build like that. Was
Yeah.
that 2014?
I might have. Yeah, it should have been 2014.
Yeah, it feels like it's been a little. But Dota
Dire
also,
team ban.
especially now with the major system, I don't know what it is, but it feels like time goes by so quick.
It does. It's either that or
We're
you're just.
getting old, Toby.
Oh, I'm already old. That.
10 seconds remaining.
We're gonna talk about the picks.
Well, we could. About a 22-year-old friend
5
who
seconds
said to me, like,
remaining.
30 years isn't that old. I'm like, yeah, you talked in 8 years' time.
You talk to me in almost a decade from now.
Dire team
So,
pick.
you know, I have lived, like, if you want to add 50% of your life on again, that's how much older than you I am. Perspective, everybody. You don't even remember the first 10 years, do you? The part of
Yes,
your
that
conscious
is true.
life.
You know what it is, Toby?
What is a cat?
What we
Tell me
need
what it
to
is, Kat.
do
What do we need to do?
is they say the thing
10
is the
seconds
older you
remaining.
get, the time goes by faster, right? And the
Uh-huh.
reason
5
that
seconds
is because
remaining.
you're experiencing the same things over and over again. So your mind just sort of like kind of
Reserve
cuts
time.
those moments down because you've experienced, like you say, you're doing the same job over and over. You're experiencing the
So
same
I need
thing.
to experience
So you
new
need to
things.
experience new things. Yes.
Going bungeeing.
Yes, go bungee
This
jumping, go travel around
Never gone bungee
Asia for a year or something. Leave TI to me. It's all good, Toby. I got it under control.
Wow, are
Just
you
prolong your
pulling
life.
a blitz here? Are you pulling a blitz?
Yeah, Toby,
Like,
go pro, man. Go
if
pro.
you can't instantly become
Radiant
number
team
one, just get
Uh-huh.
rid of all the other competition.
Yeah, I
Syndra,
mean-
yes, you should make state gaming. I'll even coach it for you guys. Like, you'll be great. You'll be amazing. Don't show up to any major, Syndra. And TI, you'll qualify for it, Syndra. You're gonna be okay. And Valve is just gonna be there going, hey, Blitz, like we're gonna slash you right now.
We're gonna what?
Slash you.
Oh.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh.
Thought about that.
Yeah,
one in a
that's
very
what
long time.
2016 is. That Toby
5
can
seconds
bring callbacks to the slush jokes.
I'm happy to
All right.
joke
So,
about things
so the
now.
draft.
Yeah,
Pretty important, Toby. We
It
haven't
is.
talked about it at all.
we haven't. We've been
Dire
terrible
team
casters,
Important
obviously.
things have happened. First of all, Chen first pickup. In European Dota, Chen is real big right now. He's an excellent hero. We saw it through our own run through the open qualifiers that Chen is amazing. And he's one of the heroes because pushing is quite strong right now. Any kind of jungling heroes is going to be pretty valuable. The counter from HellRaisers, though, was,
10
I think, pretty
seconds
spot
remaining.
on. They picked up the Lone Druid, who identified as, like, one of the most OP heroes of the
5
patch right
seconds
now.
remaining.
If he ever gets through the first 4 picks without being
Reserve
seen
time.
at all on bans or picks, I'll be super surprised in the European scene if that ever happens. Just because he is so powerful, and he's also one of Trixie's. They actually take that away from him, as well as another big Trixie hero, the Bat Rider. Bat Rider's had a good amount of success lately. I feel like he's a pretty dominant offlaner, and Trixie has actually shown some pretty good success with it in the past. We now have the Mirana picked up, which is definitely one of the more interesting ones that I've seen so far. I don't
Her
know.
combo with OD has been so crazy as well.
Yeah, there's a couple of different combos that work really, really well with Mirana. One of them being the OD. You're absolutely right on that.
Radiant
Another
team
one is
pick.
actually the Ember Spirit. Ember
Really?
Spirit is super good because you're able to slide this chains, hold the hero there from a distance.
How long is that stun duration again? Remember? Do you remember time?
It's like 2
Okay.
enough to be able to, like, if you have good communication, throw arrow at him now. I mean, slight chains is like by itself. So
10 seconds remaining.
I just know if anything else can really combo to a 4-second setup.
5 seconds
It-
remaining.
It's 4 seconds worth of imprisonment from level 1
For the team.
for an OD. Like,
that
that
is
is
the other
Dire
hero.
team
crazy.
ban.
I was like, there are 3 heroes in my mind that Trixie would want to pick up as an offlaner in this meta: Lone Druid, Bat Rider, and Nature's Prophet. It's actually going back to, again, the Alliance meta.
don't mind as well
10
having an Nature's
seconds
Prophet in this
remaining.
game. Normally, like you look to see who's going to be able to push
5
Nature's Prophet
seconds
out of the top
remaining.
lane. Ancient Apparition will be able to harass him, but only when he's got Chilling Touch. At all other points, like the Nature's Prophet's going to
Radiant
get the
team
space in him.
ban.
Like, you're going to have Vision, you've got harassment against Ancient Apparition, you can't deal with. And Mirana's not really that great at dealing with like a Treant spam as well. So Trixie should be okay on that off lane. And even then, like, how long is he going to stay up there? Like, you got a Savannah and a Chen.
10 seconds
Pushing in the
remaining.
bottom lane is not going to be a difficult task. And the counter push from HellRaisers,
5 seconds
it's
remaining.
not terrific. Like, unless they're going to run like an off lane lone druid, then they could pull the creep
Reserve
wave
time.
back. Is this a 1 position or a 3 position druid?
Looking at right now, there could actually be some sort of aggro tri-lane pickup by HellRaisers. I'm not too sure. The interesting thing for me is that I think it's more likely to be a 1 position, but they're going to run some sort of aggro tri-lane with Apparition. Maybe Mirana, I'm not sure. Limits of Mirana's roaming potential, maybe, but I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out as time goes. One of the important things about the Mirana pickup is that it's a good counter to Chen now because it instant kills a creep, right? So you can
10
just arrow
seconds
Chen
remaining.
creeps, all day long. Really great pickup in that regard. The mid is the next. Oh, maybe not.
Radiant
Is this
team pick.
mid Pugna, 1 position lone druid, off lane Doom,
Make the most sense unless you want to push the Doom to the safe lane.
or
Like,
is
like
or
with
is
Doom
Mirana a core?
versus Prophet's not that shabby.
Yeah, Doom should do. I mean, he's low on armor. That's the bad part, right?
Yeah.
He's got this excellent regen, but he's low on armor, so
But
he
if-
is susceptible to the.
If you
physical
get
damage
something like a
harassment.
PMS early on, pull a couple of consumables, and then they just run
10
through with Mirana
seconds
AA off
remaining.
lane.
Mhm.
And then the Mirana can just rotate and help out the mid lane. Because the
5
Crepify is also a
seconds
setup for the
remaining.
Mirana arrow. Like, the slow is going to be enough depending on who's the mid for Stark, which is the last unknown.
Reserve time.
Yeah, this matchup really did not go the way I expected it to. I see. I expected something like this out of Stark. I expected them to go more late game with their pickups because the way these two teams match up against each other, HellRaisers has been like super fight oriented. You're talking about heroes being picked up like Enchantress and Razor. Like they picked up a Centaur at one point in time. Like who's picking Centaur? HellRaisers is. They love their fighting, and that's kind of the heroes that they tend to pick up. It seems in meta. Whereas Stark, I think either go one or two ways. I think they either go some push oriented strats, or they go for better late game. And I think that is to their strength. I think that they are a pretty decent late game team considering where they're ranked at. So I kind of expected them to facing HR to go, okay, let's avoid their team fight as much as possible, and let's actually just push
Prepare
this
for
late
battle.
game. And with their initial pickups, it seemed like it was all pushing power. You
Yeah.
see Chen, you see Sven, especially very mid game dominant pushing style hero. I was looking at this going, what the hell? I didn't think stand by them. Now with the Ember Spirit, if you look at Ember Spirit Furion as a combo, they're better late game than they were, but I still think that the priority is going to be mid game and push. I don't think you want to go late game against a Doom, Ancient Apparition, and Lord.
It's kind of weird though. Like you go mid game push and you still pick up something like an Ember Spirit.
Yeah.
Like, is this the point where I can almost say you bypass going for something like a Battlefield because it's just so good on an Ember Spirit, but do you go for like the early phase treads? Phase Aquila drums.
Yeah, there's like some conflicting information here, right? If you're gonna go push squad, why did you pick one of the worst high ground pushing heroes in the game in the form of Ember Spirit? Why did you pick up Ember Spirit against a Doom in the first place? Doom is the counter to everyone, but some people are more limited by the Doom's presence than others, and definitely one of those heroes. Why did you pick that up? You could say that the push style that Stark is kind of going for here is benefited by certain carries that come online around the 20-minute marker that have a serious amount of fighting strength to them that can kind of combat HR at that 15 to 25-minute marker that they're, I would say, typically pretty strong at. And Ember Spirit is one of those kind of cores, right? He picks up max out Flame Guard. He goes in with this really powerful damage over time snare in Searing Chains. He has this insane mobility, and he's actually very powerful with that basic skill set. He doesn't really need items. It's only until you start going 35 minutes that you're like, okay, where's your battle fury? Where's your crystal? Those sort of things.
Well, if you can feed off the Pugner, he's going to get these items pretty
30
quickly.
seconds.
Because
Yeah.
as far as just like the head-to-head matchup of Pugner versus the Ember, there seems to be a lot more opportunities for an Ember Spirit to take out the Pugner. Pugner's got no escape mechanism. What's he going to do to cripify himself? Then you just move forward with Flame Guard and just wait on your Searing Chains. There seems to be a lot of things that could work for Dark's lineup if they can get those early pickoffs, and then HellRaisers just have no real answer.
The battle begins.
It's HellRaisers for me. Like I look at their draft, I'm like, well, where does the aggression really kick out from? Like if you don't hit the arrow, what else have you really got? You got a Doom who can blink in and start off with his Doom. That requires him, 1, to get a Blink Dagger, and 2, kind of requires him to almost carry around like the Centaur stun, because they don't have any real stuns. They're running the Druid as the offlaner, so they are going to prioritize the farm into, well, I would say Doombringer, but right now Undershock is going to be taking out that top lane.
No.
And Doom's going to start in the jungle. Or at least just to pick up Frost Armor creep.
Murata is gonna have to a lot of work done. Gonna come in, arrow the creep. Oh, that's mine now. Thank you.
How is that balance? That just seems so stupid as well.
Yeah, it's a really weird thing, right? Because Chen is gonna farm by clearing through the smaller creeps. Gotham is, I think he's dead.
He leveled up arrow to start with. Just 2 more attacks on a concussive.
No, he's got very far.
Turn for the arrow though.
Yeah.
That's going to give him a couple of seconds stun. There's still Decrepify as well as Nether Blast available too. So Afro Ninja could just turn this one around as Valix. Back down the tree lines. Going to try and juke the Fog of War. Quick salve will give him enough life to escape back out. But it's still burning a lot of money. Wastes a little bit of time with the Pugner. Chance for 2 sides to get first blood.
Fairy Fire is such a weird item.
It really is just a denial of first blood. Like, it's instant regeneration.
Yeah, combined with the overall meta change where there was 50 HP increase to all heroes, just limits the power of early first. These kind of like ganking style heroes. Mid lane definitely feels a bit more because of the.
Undershock's going to try and crack here at Trixie. You pick up a Haste Rune, and with Cold Feet and Chilling Touch, he should actually have this one. There's not enough damage now from the Chilling Touch, and Trixie's just waiting for the timing on the Troll Traps. Nemphy's moving up, and Trixie trying to juke it around, and he can't get denied out. Ancient Apparition will take the first blood. He's got a little bit left of this Haste Rune. And Nemphy's going to move over, but he doesn't have a other side of Fist. So he can't get in range of Undershock, so first blood goes the way of a solo AA.
I'm keeping a pretty close eye on the matchup between Murata and
Trixie.
Chen, because it's such a weird way to do this.
He wants revenge. He might be able to claim it as well if he can keep these trees blocking him up. Unfortunately, he's getting hit by the Cold Feet, and the trees can't do much more now. So he TP's up there to try and get a crack at Undershock. But sorry, you were saying, Cap.
Just the weird way that Murata functions again. Because he's doing nothing really but sniping out Chen creeps, and he's getting a lot of experience for it. In fact, he's staying ahead of the Chen. If he had, if his last arrow had hit Dark Troll Summoner rather than the Chen, he would have cured himself to stay ahead. But, I don't know what his plan is beyond that, if he just off of the Chen constantly, or if he tries to put more pressure on these lanes. You can see he just tried to put pressure on the bottom lane, see if he snipe out Boogie once.
I'm actually waiting for his rotation over towards mid. Right now, the Radiant wards there are pretty weak. Like, they got one ward watching the top rune area, and the other Radiant ward they left in the bottom lane as a more of a defensive item. He's actually sniping catapults now. Obviously, arrows can do that. But they don't see the rotation into mid. So if you do want to bring an arrow in towards mid, he's got a combo to work with now a level 3 Nether Blast up from Pugner.
Funny how I would say 70% of support TPs in the first 10 minutes of the game are for keeping mid to refill the bottle.
Hey, it works though.
Yeah.
Completely balances out your mid lane, or imbalances your mid lane. That arrow, like after you just threw one down on bottom lane, the TP came almost instantly from goddamn to top, and he only barely missed Trixie. Trixie didn't really see it coming because we did hit nighttime, so he's got less time to react. He was just lucky he was on the right line.
Lone Druid's doing pretty well for himself. He's now hit that critical level 5 where he can actually kill supports quite easily, but he may be caught here.
The Prophet's TPing in as well. I get the Troll Trap to start with over in the Lone Druid, seal him up, and wow! Okay, that's a little bit of quick damage onto a Lone Druid.
Yeah, you amplify everyone's magic damage by 30%, which includes certain nukes like the Satyrs 160 damage Shockwave. Here, like the Lone Druid doesn't stand a chance.
Still find it beautiful that a Storm Hammer is actually a magical damage
Radiant's
attack.
top tower is under attack.
Hammer.
Even though it's a hammer.
I mean, he brings it out of... Like, he's not carrying a hammer right now, Toby. And I would say it's pretty magical when he pulls it out of his ass and throws it at an enemy, you know?
I can't deny that logic, Cat. I'll agree with you.
But it was a good time for that gank because they got Lone Druid before he was level 6. Level 6 very critical for LD because of the big boost in survivability he has with that ultimate. And then also they got him when Lone Druid actually has kill power against the Skywrath Mage. The Skywrath Mage ever positions himself poorly against the LD and gets wrong time. He's pretty much guaranteed dead because that physical damage rips through Valak so quickly with no armor.
God damn, you didn't want to have that happen. They just scouted out where he put down that observer ward, so Stark shouldn't fall for HR's maneuvers. Nemphy's already feeling a little bit of pressure coming towards the mid, and that's now why the trees of Trixie will be moving down as well. They actually rotate Valak's in, and goddamn, he's gonna get sealed so he can't jump himself out of here. With the Rise of Nature also kicking in, goddamn's gonna die.
Think of it as a new...
And that was really the last gift of this observer ward that's already done a lot of work on the top river for Stark.
Valak is going for maxed out Ancient Seal build this game. Will have a lot of value versus Mirana and Pugna. The rest, I'm not quite so sure. If Silence is more valuable than the nuke power of your team.
Maybe he's also just thinking about how much amplification, like you said it before, like, it does increase his amplification with every level of that Ancient Seal.
Yeah, with the magic damage, a lot of magic damage coming out from the Ember Spirit in particular. I think it does hold a lot of value.
It'd also be crazy too when you look at a Doombringer. Like, Doom's got... Like, he's gonna be almost near the top net worth. He's at 3,100 at the moment. If you can actually seal up that Doom for a long time at the start of the fight and keep him out, there's even more room for Stark to move around during the fights.
It's interesting, the Yellow Warrior...
Trixie's dead.
Oh,
Trixie is most definitely dead. That's a 5-second stun. Combining it with Cold Feet and Chilling Touch. Yep. Very simple kill. And another good arrow. And maybe they didn't see that dire observer what I thought they did.
Oh.
Or else Trixie would never have been standing there. He's gonna have a bit of a jump as he's lucky not to get hit by that arrow as he jumps back into goddamn. There's just Seal and Control. Afro already starting off with the drain, and Nemphy is forced back out again. They really did find a way to stop him from doing that. If you use Seal to get the kill, like, obviously you got no other choice.
Mm-hmm. One thing to talk about is the fact that Yellow Warrior, I'm not sure if pressure is really what led him to this decision, but he maxed out Scorcher first. Now, that is not a problem for offlane Doom whatsoever. Most of the time, you're going to look at your survivability mechanism, try and max that up. Such an efficient build-up. But if you're a safe lane farming, I think maybe you consider going maxed out Devour. Just because it does speed up your farm so significantly. Less cooldown on every single level, an extra 20 gold as well. If you have the mana to sustain, I think Devour maxed out on a safe lane farming Doom makes a lot of sense, and can make sure that you get to that Blink Dagger, Sheep, whatever build you're going for on a Doom, that much faster. Did go Scorched Earth. That was just because he wanted the extra damage to pressure the Furion, because I don't think the healing power was really... It also gives you a little bit more jungling power as the Doom, I think. And this is something that is fairly common right now in the meta because most teams either have a jungling hero right out the gate, or they have a hero that is able to rotate in the jungle relatively early, which frees up space for the support. There is a lot more power to support patches. Certain items like Glimmer Cape being picked up, Guardian Greaves, there's a lot more ways that the supports presence can develop in the mid. So you want to put more value into their farm early on. So a lot of times you up for something to get key levels, like Ancient Apparition is a clear winner. Oftentimes, you always want to give the lane to him around the 7 to 8 minute mark, so he can get his level 6.
Yep. That's when Doom can do what he's doing now. Is it still worth bypassing and like it's an Infernal Blade? Obviously, it's one of our newer abilities to Dota 2.
I think you want to get a value level of it in the next few levels, maybe at 8. Just for the mini stun.
Nicely played, Trixie.
Charges very
until he gets hit by the arrow. Undershock. The leap forward. Goddamn. Okay, he didn't really want to do that, but what he actually ended up doing as he moved forward, he body blocked up Undershock, which just bought enough time for Trixie's triggers to get into range. Now Trixie, he's going to start the TP out, but the War Stomp is there. Doom will stop the TP out of Trixie. He almost got away with murder with a bit of help from Goddamn.
Great arrow, though. Adam is playing this Piranha really well.
This is the first bit of experience he's gained the last, well, it's actually been 4 minutes.
Yeah, ever since he stopped pressuring the Chen so much, he's really fallen off in experience. That was the thing that was most interesting to me, is how much time he was going to spend trying to put pressure there, because most roaming Maranas, unless you're just doing really, really well on your arrows, are going to fall behind in experience quite dramatically.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And that's pretty significant for a 4 position not to have that global escape mechanism from Moon Shadow.
10 feet.
Oh,
Arrow's going to connect with the Ice Blast as well. The TPing extra support with the Chilling Touch damage. They're going to kill off the Ember. He really thought he had a kill on the bag then. He had no support. Right now, OKC is just farming up inside the Radiant jungle. He just power leveled himself up 2 levels and a crap ton of money.
Yeah, Starker not playing, I would say, very well around these arrow rotations. This is the thing, is that pros get used to a certain kind of meta, a certain kind of style, and heroes that have fallen out of favor, you get really rusty dealing with them. And especially very specialized heroes like Mirana, it's such a unique playstyle to be against. You'll just oftentimes forget how to do it. You'll forget, okay, I need to remain passive at these sort of times, or look at things. So
under attack.
Arc is getting caught way too much, and this is really bad for them because HellRaisers are going to hit like a big power spike at like 20 minutes. Because look at their heroes, Toby. Think about the idea of Doom and Lone Druid pushing down a lane with a Pugna behind them. Yeah, a Pugna who's going to have mech as well. That's infinite sustain. He can heal you up constantly via mech. He can also throw down life drain on those allies, making what is traditionally very tanky heroes 10 times tankier than they already are.
And it seems a little off as well, because Stark just can't get the initiation, so something like this happens. Chargeflow just out a little bit too far. He's still in bear form, but he doesn't have enough life to survive this, especially when Trixie comes in. The arrow will connect over on Boogie, and goddamn, oh, he doesn't want to go any further. Like, my question was going to really be, like, without that initiation, but then you just realize just how far the Arse Hammer can reach. I like your analogy.
Unfortunately, his ultimate's run out. Oh my god, yo, Warrior, hello.
Goodbye.
Wow.
He ran in, but he had no one else from the rest of his team ready to go.
He charged headfirst into death. I don't know what that was.
This was a, I got face boots, I got level 4 Scorched Earth. I should be invincible, right? Like, he's a Doombringer, but that got nerfed pretty heavily.
Yeah, but one of the biggest strengths of Stark's lineup is actually the Skywrath Mage and the intense amount of nuking power he gets. It's obviously be necessary against a team that has so much tankiness to it.
Shusser, run away to the safe lane. Sure, that'll work. Undershock, he has to hide behind the tier 1. With that bad engagement on bottom, you can see Stark already looking to pressure into the tier 1 tower on top. having Nempi in the neighborhood. This is more like what you'd expect from this lineup of Stark, where they're able to move in pairs and then have the two heroes which can easily react into a lane, just come back. But they add pressure onto a different lane, forcing HellRaisers to split themselves up, and they got to split themselves up in fourths.
Lone Druid, very balanced here. Oh! Doom almost went out on the Ember Spirit. He
started Scorched Earth.
Yeah, probably just helping clear.
And then instantly Stark just play cat and dog.
But yeah, Lone Druid, pretty fair and balanced hero. Guaranteed tower last hit against any melee hero because he just Savage Roars you. What he did mid. He just was like bodying the tower and Boogie tried to go for the deny. Nope, Savage Roar.
Okay. I was questioning a little bit about, like, because I thought you were right, like, with Stark's 20-minute timing, it could be amazing for him, especially with Boogie going for this Helm of the Dominator. Looks like he actually just changed his mind. Didn't he just buy... Okay, either that in my mind, I thought he was buying a Blink Dagger.
Yeah, this is the build. I actually lost
because
this is the new build for Spence. I lost because an ally went this build very stubbornly, very clearly needed initiation, early fighting power. But Spence nowadays, they go Helm of Dominator, S and Y. They stack up the Ancient Creeps, they get a really good amount of farm because they usually have enough experience to get higher levels of Great Cleave.
Nempi,
oh no.
You were lucky to dodge the arrow, but he won't dodge the Doom. Poogie's going to come in, looks for the stun, actually going to get it over on Yellow Warrior. Is able to run himself back out, but with the orb as well as the Wrath of Nature, he will survive. Is that mech is already up for Afo. Trixie can't find his target now, he'll just start his TP out, goddamn. He'll also TP out to safety, so no casualties of war throughout the fight. Coming very close for a lot of players, but it's still HellRaisers taking that top tier 1 tower.
Yeah, that was Afo coming in with the clutch mech to save Yellow Warrior. TP in by him, but this did buy space for Shotflow's Lone Druid. That's probably the most important thing now. So that, I think, was beneficial to HellRaisers. If they can, which they have been doing pretty damn well so far, as you could see from kind of wards being played, HellRaisers did throw out a ward blocking out the stack very early on, so it's only a 2-stack right now after the... In fact, I want to say that counter ward that they placed, it might... No.
The one on the hillside shouldn't.
No, the one on the right side, but it's...
under attack.
I'm gonna go back into that custom game for the hitboxes.
Yeah. That shrubbery on the top left part of the stair.
That little guy right there. Oh, I can draw. Why don't I draw?
That guy.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
So HellRaisers now, you've taken out 2 tier 1 towers. You're about to get pressured inside your jungle by both Nempi as well as Valix. HellRaisers already back in the hell out. Like, do you just rotate down the bottom lane, take out the tier 1 tower, knowing that you're just going to get split, pushed out by the Prophet?
Lone Druid can handle the Prophet's push pretty well, and he needs to just sit back and farm right now anyway. HellRaisers, I think their biggest strength is the fact that they do have this early mech, with the Ancient Apparition having good levels, and the Doom being just a beast once he's got matched out Scourger. They should just be looking to get 4-man engagement.
They're coming bottom lane. Shen Army's going to get caught down here, but well, that's not really the problem, is Trixie losing his life so quickly. Shen will be able to TP out in time. Position was revealed for a moment, just because the Nether Ward struck him when he used his TP scroll, but HellRaiser couldn't reach him in time, so Trixie dies, but there's acceptable losses, especially when you get a tier 1 tower in return.
Yeah, it's going to be a tier 1 trade-off. I think it still benefits HellRaisers. Stark are going to be kind of expecting these sort of losses in trades, though, because they have heroes that are much more farm. With this build on the Sven, combined with the fact you have an Ember Spirit, you have 2 heroes that need quite a lot of farming time, I would say. Yep. And I guess when I initially looked at the Sven, I was so used to him being like, oh, early game, you know, king power plus fighting, etc. Sven's in this patch are actually a lot more late game.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
They
attack.
won't make it to late game at this rate.
Dire's courier
Like, you just had a
has been
Greaves
killed.
just transferred him. You lose the courier on the way back out again. But Chen getting decrypified. The Tomb, he can't do anything about this. The Chen army is just in the middle of this whole engagement. With the Ice Blast coming forward, it's going to help and in fact ensure the kill over on Trixie. He just had the stun to sit up from Goddamn. And now the entire Chen army will in fact die as well. Easy thing to rebuild.
I don't think Trixie is going the right builds for this game. Maybe I'm wrong. The fighting power of the Orchid is going to be pretty damn limited against HR because Apo's going to have Guardian Greaves, so he can remove the silence. There's one hero automatically can't target. Lone Druid is probably not a hero you can target in this game. Who the hell cares? Doom most likely is going to be already using most of his abilities, Scorched Earth at the very least, before you're able to throw Orchid onto him, and possibly Doom as well. And at that point, he doesn't care about the silence either. So then you're just left with the supports, where it's always going to be effective against supports, but not a game changer.
Oh, the Doom's become a little bit tankier since we last met him, but he's still not tanky enough. Trixie was TPing in to help out, and Apo actually completed his TP. The arrow's going to miss as Valix goes on a little bit of a roundabout run, and he will die for this kill on the Doombringer.
Nothing next to us. Just taking a
No, actually, he's worth a hell of a lot. That Skywrath was a 6-0. Like, that's an unstoppable streak he just ended. That's some good money.
There is a huge difference between these two supports on Stark. Unfortunately, the early pickup of Chen has actually turned against Stark pretty dramatically since the full lineup of HR was revealed. Chen hasn't been able to do anything really against this kind of lineup, while Skywrath Mage's value has gone through the roof. Huge tanks, or huge nukes eating through these tanks.
Now
Like, they'll get shots. though.
Now they're going to try. Are they trying to get both? Like,
Oh god, Savage Roar! Oh, fair and balanced hero! Let's give one of the tankiest heroes, hardest heroes in the game to gank, and an extra escape mechanism.
at the same time, like, the early stun which they had available was the Dark Troll Summoner at that point.
Yeah.
And they used it over on the bear. I don't know, it felt like Stark was trying to get both the bear as well as the Lone Druid.
Yeah, probably. Maximizing value if you can get the 300 gold plus experience on the bear.
Problem is that you have to at least kill like the hero or one of them.
Yeah.
Ended up not killing either.
Yeah, you eat that creep. Yeah, between an arrow, between Devour, like, Chen just has no value. Plus his...
Between two Midases?
Like, also his, like, sustain that he brings to Stark G's lineup isn't really valuable against an enemy team that has... because they have tankier here. Despite what I was saying earlier on, which Chen is hero, Char did really well exploiting that.
Alex is trying to look for the observable. He's going to find one right now.
Oh, that is Midas as well?
What,
Look at that, you've got 3 different abilities from HR that instantly one-shot a creep. In fact, if he has 4 creeps, he still loses because there's another hand of Midas on Undershock.
Oh, they found Undershock. Damn, can he give him some space with the arrow? Nephi's going to dodge it. Undershock will die. And Trixie already used his TP. The observable will let them see where Goddamn is, but they can't chase him far enough. Or maybe they can when he turns around like that. Vargas is right behind him, so Seal can cast a shot and Orb all flying at him. Now allow Nephi to get in range for one more Sleight of Fist to get the kill.
You are
We're doing most of the work before the Ember gets in the last.
Char really not taking advantage of the space that they had there. Can't afford to be losing 2 heroes and also not be pushing a lane. Looks like they'll catch Valix though.
Until he gets sealed up. If the bear can get an entangle right now, it's only going to slow up Valix. 2 hits and still can't find it. Decrypify also not the greatest synergy in the world, and in fact that Decrypify allowed OKC time just to take him back to base.
Yeah, this time Stark are showing how to use that
Boogie.
space.
The middle.
Yeah, good force staff use there, but also the Savage Roar. Rather well placed.
Always got to keep that eye out for the Savage Roar.
The Vlad's pickup from Yolo Warrior, I understand it, but it's slowed down his Blade Dagger quite a bit, and that means they've lost a lot of time where they pressuring the Ember.
It was the timing though, like, because they got it at the same time as the Greaves arrived for the Pogner. So they probably just thought, okay, at this point we just 5-man move it. When you lose those 2 heroes in a side lane,
Yeah.
that timing just gets pushed back. So yeah, I can understand his build, and he has the Blink Dagger now anyway. So they got the initiation.
You're about to get Radiance on the Spirit Bear as well for HellRaisers. They're looking pretty damn good. Dark have to push this, like, super late game if they want to be able to win past 45 minutes.
Can they even really push this super late game? It doesn't feel like they've got the heroes that will win out against HellRaisers.
Yeah, it primarily comes down to initiation. Ember Spirit is, like, one of the best late game heroes just because of the fact that he can go so far back and can get sleight of fist down on you. But, again, just one Blink Doom.
Yep.
The new Doom does not have a way to break through Lincoln Sphere by himself. Not an item to do so.
Because he doesn't have the level death anymore.
Yeah, they changed out level death for Inferno. That was a bit of a nerf to you.
Warriors of the wood.
I'm actually kind of surprised to see the Doombringer's still here. Like, haven't really seen the effect of the Infernal Blade.
Is under attack.
I think Stark, their best time to take control of this game is probably in the next... It's either now or once BKB is up on... It looks like they're going to wait on that. He's got a stack to clear through, that'll bring him very close to...
Shadows, take us.
Once they have that item, they really need to take control of this game. Because on its current trajectory, I don't think Stark win late game, just because they're not in a good enough position, economy-wise.
Oh. Okay, the question I was going to ask is, do you want to commit Doom? Valix will burn.
Yellow Warrior hasn't had a better opportunity to use Doom, so I think it makes sense to use it there.
It'll be a while before they have another engagement. How long will we get before next Roshan too? Just over 2 minutes before he's going to potentially spawn.
The biggest problem is that HR, now that they have Radiance on Lone Druid, are going to start... In times where there's like no kills going on, HR should always be climbing a net worth over Stark. Because of the fact that there's a lot of efficiency in the way that you Radiance farm with Lone Druid, where you can push out lanes with Bear without needing a hero. You also have the Doom with his Devour mechanic, always staying ahead of you as well. And then I guess there's some farm efficiency as well with the Mirana Arrow.
So we're about to try and kill with it. The first Observer Ward from goddamn Scatter, the fact that Boogie was just farming inside the jungle. Now they bring the bear over, 2 swipes and he can't get himself an entangle. There's still no Doom available, they just devour up one of the Chen Alpha Wolves. Pressure on.
Yellow Warrior ended up blinking into shoot up their gang, but may give them the opportunity to push this tier 2. They need one person to defend top though. Can't afford to let the Furion ever get free damage on your tier 3. In fact, giving up the tier 2 earlier was bad enough. They also need to, again, they were doing it early, but they haven't been doing it for the last 15 minutes now. You gotta control that Ancient stack. I've seen Boogie get, I don't know, anywhere from like 5,000 net worth purely from that Ancient stack.
They tried once, so they came in for 1 ward, then it was D-ward, and they haven't tried again since. Nice time to have an Ember Rune kind of break the smoke. And the gem carrier, well, who they actually put that gem onto? Did they lose it before?
Is he gonna die here? The Orchid Pop? Yeah, he's dead.
Grab Trixie.
Ooh, the Ags on the Ancient Emperor. That's a pretty damn fast Ags.
Why was the gem not on Stark? I was searching for it that entire time because I'm thinking, oh well, the gem carrier is a little bit further back. That's the reason why they don't see the Doombringer.
Maybe just some sort of miscommunication. Maybe somebody brought the courier to them but didn't have the item slots for the gem.
They might be keeping it a little bit more secret though, but it's because the gem was picked up by the Chen, but he's not holding on to it at the moment.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense if you're gonna go for a smoke ink like that. It's the perfect opportunity to take control of the map and scout out. Yep, like even if you don't find anybody, at least you're scouting out wards while you're... Oh.
They're definitely gonna, like, and you're up against a Mirana, like, Moonlight Shadow is a horrible ability to play against when you got no reveal. It makes life a little bit easier. Boogie for the double stun. You can actually get both the bear as well as the hero. Oh, nice but again, Decrepifying. It's going to cause some problems here with a 4-star farm too. Lone Druid. They just try and push him further and further away, but the Mystic Flare's going to do the work. They find the first kill there. And again, they're doing this, like, all without the gem. But they had the sentry ward down, that's why they kept the vision to start with. Moonlight Shadow tried to protect.
Pugnet's about to get Ags plus level 16. That'll be a pretty significant upgrade if he correctly.
I'm wondering what the range is on, like... Dark have enough, actually they have more than enough to kill off the bear. Trying to use him as like a high ground tank, is where my mind was going with it.
Yeah, I really thought HR was going to be able to keep Stark a little bit more controlled while also farming more efficiently. But they just haven't taken control like I expected them to. There seems to be not a whole lot of pressure being put on Nemphy. He's really pushing out lanes constantly. I expected his farm to be quite smaller than it currently is because of the fact that Doom game with a Blink Dagger. I didn't expect the Sven to be able to get so much value out of Ancient stacking, and same kind of applies to the Furion in the way that he's able to push out lanes as well. Unfortunately, HR haven't just been able to lock down Stark. They are going to lose out in the farm game if they can't control the...
Decision by HR. They just burnt one of their smokes while they were right on top of the Radiant Catapult. I say Radiant Catapult, it looked like a deceiving one, because it's controlled up right now by this Vent's Helmet, the Dominator. And watching Roshan so closely, which is what HR have been scared away from.
And he's got no issues putting himself on the front lines.
He's the guy at least with the... Well, actually no, he doesn't have enough survivability. If he gets hit by that Ice Blast, he's going to die pretty quickly.
Shivas will come in soon for the Doom.
I'm wondering how much of a real effect that's going to have. You can at least keep the Chen army as well as an Aegis Prophet army back. Beyond that, I'm still looking for his damage, like ways to control up the Ember Spirit. And the Doombringer is basically like blink Doom onto Ember, and if this Ember does get to a Lincoln Sphere, he doesn't have anything else that's really going to be able to break it. So he requires like a different item. Wondering what else you could even get. Got a good range. Okay, here's your blink, jump, Doom. Arrow flies forward, it's going to miss absolutely everyone, but the Ice Blast will connect on the Sven. Huggins actually the one to kill him. It goes into a one-on-one trade-off. Chen army trying to buy a little bit more space, but that range on the Pugna and the ability to fight from inside the invis of Moonlight Shadow, giving a superior advantage, but at the same time, like, oh, that's
what I expected right there from HR. They have better initiation. They should be able to get like these initial pickoffs or render a hero useless via Doom. I felt like they could have been putting a lot more pressure on Stark, preventing all this farm that they were getting. They finally get the fight that they need, which will allow them to take Roshan, but Nemphy isn't going to get this up so easily.
They can go for that Slant of Fist, but he doesn't have enough damage. That's still just a Battle Fury Ember Spirit, and no real spirits to work with. He slides a Fist, but he can't actually grab it. Maybe the Pugna's Aegis Immortal and was killed by the Dire side.
Yeah, he knows that with the Doom on cooldown, there's nothing that HR have to actually threaten him. He can play really far forward into a Roshan pit scenario like that and harass the enemy really without fear.
But it does exploit one, like, it shows one big thing. It's the fact that he doesn't have damage.
Yeah.
This Assault Cuirass is almost done for Shashlo. And with that being done, HellRaisers and Aegis Immortal, they can just run down the lane. I'm looking at Trixie, and I think he's actually building into a Lincoln Sphere over on the Aegis Prophet, but he won't be ready by the time HellRaisers push. And that's still, like, for me, the biggest problem. The fact that HellRaisers can go right now, they can just run down mid lane and take this fight. Like, wait for the Doom maybe, but that's 22 seconds.
Yeah, wait for Doom, wait for AC, and I think you're right. At that point in time, they will push in. Not the Crystallis. Nemphy chooses the Blink Dagger instead. He knows he can really abuse his mobility if the Doom is on CD, and if he has the Lincolns given over to him by the Furion, he can abuse that even further, but still lacking in damage so much. Boogie is going to make up for that, but Boogie is like, his kind of damage is full committal. You don't get damage out from a Sven without forcing the...
And army's being brought home. Lucky to escape that gank. Boogie now blinks up, Shashlo. Now the God Strength is up and he brought his bear in, so can cleave both of them at the same time.
Oh, we got the bear too.
Yeah, he did.
That is actually, I think, super lucky.
Does that actually even... Sorry, he got 800 gold according to the system, but does that even include the gold he got from the bear?
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Unless it was Van that picked off the bear. But no, they both appeared with yellow numbers.
Yeah, they both appeared with yellow. I think it did include the launcher. Wait, did they?
It had 300 on the bear and 800 on the hero.
Dyer's courier has been killed.
That's what came above it. Trixie doing Trixie
Dyer's
things.
bottom tower is under attack.
Not crazy, right? They didn't change it to kill the lone druid hero and you bounty from the bear.
No.
No,
Dyer's middle
that was
tower
just
is
maybe a
under attack.
weird mechanic where the cleave kills both at the same time.
It's weird though. It shouldn't function that way.
Yeah.
Because the second the hero dies, the bear should die as well.
Yeah.
Unless the damage would have to be done like a millisecond before, like to the bear a millisecond before. But actually, no, that would work because with the side of fist, he would have jumped to the other side first.
I believe in Warcraft 3 mechanics, the hero, the damage instant goes first onto the hero and then secondary. So in those sort of scenarios, I think the bear would die from lone druid. Maybe Dota 2, the mechanics are a bit different at the same time.
Or Shashlo was just killed by...
you can have scenarios where the spirit bear dies, same hit that lone.
But when you include cleave, because it was the Ember Spirit, so like he came and he started fist. Like the bear was so low, just one basic attack onto the bear without including the cleave would have killed the bear and delivered the death blow to the lone druid.
Maybe he did kill the yeah, that's probably what happened. Looked like he hit the bear.
We can slow it down and have a look at it later. Now it's it doesn't really matter.
They got some issues though on Stark. I mean, it was a good pickoff, but
it's still the same underlying problem with HellRaisers, the fact that they can just run at you.
Maybe, I don't know, they're being really skittish.
Only got 1 minute left of that Aegis too.
Yeah, I can't believe that we may see the Aegis just take out.
Are they waiting? Because if they wait any longer, like they'll have the BKB in maybe 30 seconds for the Pugna, but then you've got 30 seconds worth of an Aegis. You can't force anything in 30 seconds.
Yeah, again, I don't know. I mean, if you're not going to push towers, at the very least, control the map better so the Sven isn't getting so much farm value out of Ancient. Gonna have a Daedalus soon. It's like this self-fulfilling like prophecy / vicious cycle where HR are afraid of the Sven damage, so they don't go into the team fight, so they give the Sven space, so he's getting even more farm to increase his damage, and it's like getting worse and worse as HR gives Stark space.
You're almost being like your own worst enemy right now with that Observe Ward up. They want to kill off the Doombringer before the fight begins. They're able to do so. The Ice Blast on the way in, but who's it really affect? The Chen, as well as chilling up over on Nemphy. He doesn't get the stun over on Aphra, but Undershock's gonna get picked off in the tree line by that Skywrath Mage. Huge opening. The Observe Ward made so much of it work. And Trixie was also watching him too. He was up there with the Shadow Blade.
Yeah, they didn't get that, they didn't get the gem to pick off that ward. And that was obviously hugely important, right? Whoever gets the initiation first is going to win the fight at this point.
So proving just how useless that Orchid is over on Trixie.
Seeds of fortune.
His Lincoln Sphere though gives so much survivability to Nemphy. Nemphy just goes ham right now. He's gonna blink over the arrow, which then hits Boogie at the back line. The Skywrath Mage just killed himself over on the Nether Ward. Maybe not realizing that one was down on the field. The Stormbot will be able to buy a little bit of space, stunning up that bear, but yeah, Skywrath Mage was really not ready for that at all. Having that stun over on Boogie was also not part of the plan.
Oh man, that wasn't even a level 3 Mystic player, that was just level 2.
Trixie's
575 mana.
No!
Easy pick off. Trixie was too close to the tier 2 tower. And during nighttime, he didn't have the vision up towards the tower, so as the TP in, blink forward and doom.
Yellow Warrior's farm is not where it should be. Like, the Sven is too far up, and the Doom is not far enough up. Like, I was looking at this and kind of like theory crafting, like how HR would be winning this, and I felt really confident about that 25-30 minute marker. Really thought, like, okay, they put on Stark, they get a farm advantage, they're just naturally going to get more by controlling the map with the heroes plus double minuses.
Dire's top
But
tower
they,
is
They
under
found
attack.
something.
They weren't able to institute that plan.
They found Boogie. The arrow though is going to be off target, so Boogie.
Yeah, they can't
Just
kill
runs them.
Boogie with just these two heroes. Unless they get like a 5-second arrow.
5-second arrow, then you can have the Ice Blast. That's always there to help you out.
Yeah. But if they're doing that, it means they're not at bottom.
They're not pushing.
The
They're
warrior
not.
has to back out.
What are they going to do? Wait for next Roshan? They're actually at a point now where if they go into a clustered area like that, the Prophet will always scout it out, and this Ven can just cleave your entire team.
You go Ags on Doom now. Because his farm is not great. And you also already have an AC. Like, typically this build would be Blink, Shivas, then Assault Cuirass. But you already have the AC on the Lone Druid Bear. You're clearly not going to be farmed enough to be a, like, powerful right-clicking carry. I don't see him actually being... Like, if you're behind the Ember Spirit, you've got issues. So maybe he banks on the Ags upgrade and just being able to lock out one hero for so long.
Problem is, I don't think he's going to survive that long, even with the stats from the Aghanim Scepter. Just, okay, he buys BTs for now. The only problem, he's just going to get shredded. So I'm wondering if it might even just be worth getting something like, I don't even say a heart, because that's not going to stop this Ven from killing him. Especially now as you get a second Daedalus being done on Nemphy.
So the way I looked at this game was that it was a very back and forth and who had control at what time. Got Stark 20 minutes, HR 30 minutes, Stark again at 45 minutes, and then I have no idea what happens past 45 minutes. Like, I thought maybe it was Stark, but I'm not sure.
Oh, Trixie. That steal.
The other?
There was
they
no
can't.
stun, they both get
Wow.
back out. And now Nemphy's going to try and punish up on the top lane. The Bear's already there, but he does get the Searing Chains over on Chargelo. The
but they have
BTs
the
are coming
GDN.
in and Boogie.
Oh,
well,
wow.
He wants to play with the arrow, hits on Nemphy. Boogie walks back into the Ice Blast. He'll start his damage and cleave. And once again, Ancient Apparition just deleted from the game for Chargelo. He still finds the revenge by killing off the Nature's Prophet of Trixie.
Oh, Shachilo's gonna get caught as well, but he has a blink up soon, but the Radiance is stopping it constantly.
Even if they just kill the Bear, like Bear will just be worth
Oh no,
it.
the arrow hit the creep!
Ah!
Dire's
That
middle
camp, it
tower
couldn't have been there. Boogie's got blink off cooldown. He just cleans them up. He had to run. He stopped the farm, the camp for a moment.
He screwed that up so badly. If you're running, you gotta keep the bear on the Sven in order to stop his blink dagger pursuit. But then he turned and fought, thinking that Gotham was gonna be able to get an arrow on Sven, but it clipped the creep camp instead.
Alpha, you're really forcing the issue.
Yeah, don't...
He's gonna get sealed up, but it doesn't really matter because he can break free with the Greaves. But his Netherward he placed was just so far back. It's almost like he's just trying to buy time for the rest of his heroes to respawn without having to buy back.
Boogie can get like Satanic now to increase his sustain, maybe. Gotta use that Helmet Dominator anyway. But what does he go after that? You know, he
Monkey
replaces
King Bar.
S and Y for
Rocky Kingba.
MKB. Okay, yeah.
It's direct
That makes
attack. Like you still got that Radiance issue on the field.
Yep. That's a smart call. Well, SNY for MKB, Power Treads for bots level 2, Moon Shards.
It's just worthwhile just going into the Moonshot. See, he already proved he's fighting under Radiance before. Like, you just trigger your BKB, you fight it hard, you get Satanic, you get your BTs, and you just go to town.
It may even be worth it at one point in time to trade out your Blink Dagger because you're going to have issues with Ice Blast, Pugna Wards, and the Radiance that you won't be able to use the Blink Dagger oftentimes in fights and replace that with like a Butterfly. Even the Flutter effect may offer you more mobility than...
Something tells me though, Stark does not want this game to go that late. Like, late game heroes or not, like, you're still in a bit of a tight area. The arrow's gonna fly in and she helps him. The Ice Blast is way too short. It still will connect over on Nemphy, but there's no opportunity for a jump. But they even get away with the cheese.
They just left that one behind.
Obviously,
And
don't know it's number 3 or they just don't want it.
Yeah, their quick escape. They
They made the
left some
decision too.
perishable goods behind.
Like, Doom left his drums inside the pit. in order to grab that cheese. And
Courier,
the Ember could have done exactly the same thing. Trixie actually had an item slot free.
Yeah, at the very least, kill the cheese. You don't have room to pick.
Yeah. I'm wondering if they're going to have a couple of problems down the road with that.
Leave the enemy nothing. Give them no quarter. You know what? That's a very common theme. Actual war.
Giving no quarter?
No. If you are retreating from a scenario, never leave behind.
Yeah. Blow it up, man.
Yeah, it goes as recent as like modern wars, like the Korean War. Very common in the Chosen Reservoir when the Marines were leaving behind. Oh, goodbye.
And Gem, another one. Add to the field. They're going to find a target up on top. It's going to be Ampo. Paul starts himself forward, but he still can't get himself out. The Sprout and Boogie moves forward. He needs one more attack. What? Hang on. Did he just break it? Oh, they go for the Doom. It's over on Boogie, but he is more of a man to tank it. He just has to avoid the Ice Blast. By continuously running, he's able to do such a thing. Now they know the Ice Blast is down as well. What happened to that Pugnet?
I don't know how he survived through that one like sleight of fist hit. That was kind of weird, but HR, I think they just straight up lost the game from that.
Oh, Boogie.
Oh, God.
He's going to get locked down with the Abyssal Blade, but now he breaks free. Understruck's going to get completely nuked down by the Skywrath Mage. And Doombringer, well, there's the cheese that will allow him to survive for now. He's just focusing on that bear. There shouldn't be a resummon. Actually, there's one up in 1 second time, so he can have another bear for now. But they've got no control on the Ember Spirit. The linkage from Trixie just continuously coming out. Now they jump forward again. How long do you want to stay here? The tower gets picked up by the Skywrath's Mage. The arrows are just barely missing. Trixie will start his TP out. Varlik's actually getting stunned, so he won't be able to complete his TP out to safety. He still took a tier 3 tower, and it looks like, okay,
Ember Spirit may die.
Get rid of the gems, 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 and get the courier out of there. Okay, they lost both the gems.
Alright, so Ember Spirit also lost his Aegis out of that. That was, man, that Ice Blast was... That was... I really thought that HellRaisers just like straight up lost the game. Yeah, maybe they would like limp on for a little while. Obviously they'd be able to like defend, but I think that like one misplay was going to cost them too much for them to recover. But because of the fact that they managed to pick up a couple of things there, they got a couple of supports, they took away the Aegis, the Ember Spirit. What they really need to do now though is capitalize on the positioning. Because they have 2 supports down, they need to try and get a pick off on that Ember Spirit with Doom. That's in 20 seconds time. If they can get the pick off in the Ember Spirit, like all sort of becomes right in the world for HellRaisers, and they make up for that misplay earlier.
Oh, looks like you're right. That is going to be an Aghanim's build coming in for the Doombringer. Got other plans for that point booster, but Aghanim's makes the most sense.
Yeah.
The lockdown control for HellRaisers.
Boy, I don't know. Maybe HellRaisers just feel like super confident with their late game positioning, but I've been watching this game and I'm always thinking like, now's the time to put pressure, now's the time to move out and try and, you know, get that pick off or get whatever. And
but every time they do, they end up getting slapped back by the Zven or some kind of combo with the Emperor and Prophet.
And I'm never really sure, like, is it me making the wrong call? And maybe HR are more secure in the late game, or if it's just because, you know, they can't see their position from like a spectator.
Well, overall, they don't look in a great position as far as money goes, but when they have things like, they still have the extra gems though. Like if this Doom blinks up and Chase...
Oh no, they're not gonna get him! Wow. They get nothing out of that.
Come.
That was so bad. They don't have another smoke for 9 minutes. That actually means that they may not have smoke for the next Roshan. In fact, I mean, very likely they won't have it. So
they're just gonna get split pushed out now. Like, there's no way for them to engage. Like, if you even move as like 4 or 5, you can't move as 4 anymore. Because if you do that, there's too many ways that you can just get picked off by Stark. So Stark will capitalize. You're getting a full Mjolnir pickup on the Nature's Prophet. And that will allow him just to force down side lanes a lot quicker. If any kind of momentum is built up by HellRaisers, it kind of gets cancelled by the Sleight of Fist of the Ember Spirit.
Yeah. This is why initially, when I said like super late game, Stark will have the advantage. It really comes down to initiation and stuff, but I think like the standard play is that Stark will have the advantage because of the fact that they have so much mobility, and there are too many ways for them to win, essentially, right? They can win a team fight via Sven and Ember Spirit being beast. They can have the split push game successful. All HR past like 50 minutes really have is the pickoff. Like, they have to get that critical initiation on the Ember Spirit, lock it down, get that kill, and then go from there. And that's the only way that they can win, I think, late game. I'm not... At this point in time, you can't push high ground as 5 against an Ember Spirit because he spams you out too much. The Furion always split pushes.
Who needs smoke when you have Moonlight Shadow? Do a classic Hon style, man. There's the reason why Valkyrie was picked up. Blink.
Dire's top barracks are under
There's that blink.
attack.
All they're gonna do is find the Chen army, and Moonlight Shadow will run out, which reveals HR's position. They're being pushed out in the top. This courier is gonna... No, they can't even see it. They didn't have a ward on the hillside. They had no vision of it. So it just grabs the full Satanic and drags it back for the Sven.
Permanent damage on the range, Rex. It has begun.
Day of the Rat has returned.
Roots and run.
What is the upcoming Chinese New Year? Or we are...
I don't know. I don't believe it. Six? No, not year.
Yeah,
right.
it's early February. What is the upcoming? Find out for you.
If it is the age of, if it is like the year of the rat.
2016 is the year of the monkey. All you monkeys out there.
I don't really know how we can make that. Trixie, you're in a wall of hurt. Lincoln Spear's gonna trigger, and now they actually do him to stop the TP out. So Trixie's down for just over, or just under a minute and a half.
Oh, Apple, that was super close. Nymphy knew he was up there and went for the slide of his chains. Didn't end up getting him though. That could have been a pick-off or a pick-off. But yeah, you get the Furion, but you're immediately being split pushed by the other two. Now they're going to lose Undershock in the mid lane.
He's got no buyback. He spent his money on a refresher of... I'm not certain how I feel about a refresher Ancient
What
Apparition.
is missing? Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structure.
There's so little survivability that comes from that. Double ice plus worth. Afro. Okay. He forced himself into that one. Now it's going to BKB. They could keep this chase going, but the TPs are already out from Stark. They won't be caught napping. They won't even kill off the Chen army. And it goes too easy with that, with the Aghanims upgrade already up. Yeah, but what do you think about the refresher on AA?
If you don't have any other items that you desperately need, I guess it's not a bad choice.
I just would have preferred to see something more like a Scythe, like more control on an Ember Spirit, which is already severely lacking.
Yeah, but in the way that,
Yeah. Moonlight Shadow, but he's dead. Be out won't be in time. The bear can't help him either. That was 84 seconds without the Doombringer. Trixie trying to hump this bear down. The Starslow's managed to drag it back over. Trixie sprouts right now. Okay, there's got him. He gets hit by the side of fist, but he's already out with a leap.
maybe a forced buyback on Doom. What? What?
A decent death.
He threw an arrow which was like a millimeter behind Trixie, and then ran back out into the Stark lineup.
That was a huge misclick. And now...
Boogie's even just going to go directly for the bear.
And a 4 versus 5.
They protect it, but...
Time to beat
Oh, you can bring it now. Yep, there is your buyback. Roshan's going to respawn right now too, so if Stark want to, they can just bail out. Like, Nempi can push out the top and then come back down again, but if they scan out that Roshan is alive, Boogie's still got a lot of end of that gold strength, but he's not going to look straight away. So they can't really make the most of it. Nempi is at the point now where he can buy a full, like he can go into the Monkey King bar, or he can go for a second Daedalus.
Oh yeah, going back into it, the way that Undershock is playing this Ancient Apparition is very traditional. Actually in this current patch, you'll see a lot more Ancient Apparitions go for like early 4 staffs rather than this very traditional Hand of Midas, Aghanim Scepter build. which is just all about your ultimate and nothing else. We're seeing a lot more combat-oriented Ancient Apparitions, and if that was the kind of build, yeah, maybe Undershock could pick up an item that has a little bit more value in that regard, like the Scythe. But because Undershock is placing so much priority into Ice Blast, I don't think Repressure is a bad idea necessarily.
From
One of those things.
to inferno.
Oh. Roshan's dead. Shah can't get there in time. The arrows are flying in, but they're all too short. The Ice Blast is already expended. And cheese, guys. Remember the cheese. Alex will take it this time around. Don't leave it behind. I'm quite sure what Goddamn's trying to achieve up here. It's almost like a bait dust. Golden thing that you have to walk towards, and then he gets the kill. Fun new upgrade as well. I say new, it's kind of part of the older upgrades, but definitely going to help with the split pushing and pressure relief of HR. The Aghanim Scepter now for Lone Druid.
Oh yeah.
So this bear is a lot more willing to fight. He's still got that Hand of Midas off cooldown, which isn't too terrific. But he's going to make Stark look behind themselves. And this kind of quells a lot of the effect that comes from Nature's Prophet. Because it's not just a Radiance burn, it's a proper pushing bear now. Like, it is a 6 hero now for HR.
Yeah, part of the problem though is it's a pretty weak hero late.
You mean like Shadow? They really want to come out. Goddamn's not in a great position to get a good arrow off.
Yeah, look
like
how
he's just
quickly
so far.
he
He's
gets
like, okay, now he's getting further away. The Ice Blast hits perfectly. Varg's actually in a lot of hurt. Boogie, he gets hit again. Now the secondary Ice Blast going to catch Nempi, Boogie, and Trixie, just continuing that duration.
They are pushing out. That was a total miscommunication there between the supports and carries. If you hit an arrow like that and you commit the Refresher secondary Ice Blast, you go in. There's no question about that. But supports and carries on different page there.
I'm actually going to surprise you. You committed the second Ice Blast directly into the fight. Like, if you could force Stark to TP back to base, you throw another Ice Blast down there and you've got a better chance of getting a kill.
Ice Blast, Fountain Ice Blast, you should never be hit by one of those. Because you'll always see the marker coming in.
Okay.
From your tower vision. So
yeah.
Is that the play?
Here comes your Ice Blast. Doom jumps forward. They're going to get rid of that Lincoln Sphere, but they do get the Doom over on top of this vent. So he's backing up, he's sticking down too low. They try and send him back to base, but nowhere near enough time to do so. And now your Slider Fist goes to work. Apo's in trouble, he can't drain as fast as he's dying. And the Orb will chase him down. Now finally that Decrepify will wear off. They still haven't got rid of the Nether Wall, but they don't really care because they're just bearing it through. Nemfi, finally he'll drop as the Aegis Immortal and the beatings man is coming back to the fight. They want to try and take a Rax here, blinking down. If they can get this kill on Apo, which they probably can, they definitely can. He's down for so long, there's 2 minutes on the sidelines after that buyback is expended of his. Doom cannot buy back into this game. A Lone Druid can, but right now Lone Druid doesn't have a bear. So he's basically nothing. And GG well played. Game 1 will go the way of Stark. Finnish boys will be off to the, well, they'll be the first team in all of Europe to have a win here in Dota Pit.
Yeah, pretty well played by Stark. They went for the playstyle that I expected them to go heading into the series. So I thought they would try and make more of a late game challenge against HR, and HR definitely suffered. They seem to have a lack of vision. They didn't feel terribly directed in some of their mid-game actions. They seem like they were a team that likes fighting and wants to fight, but when the enemy team doesn't give them a fight, they feel a little bit lost.